Assalamu alaikum, my name is Mufti Menk, and today I want to share with you a powerful reminder about the strength, wisdom, and mercy that comes through silence. In a world filled with noise, insults, and misunderstandings, sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all. Silence is not weakness, it is trust in Allah, a shield for the believer, and a source of unimaginable reward. When you control your tongue, restrain your anger, and remain patient in trials, Allah Himself defends you, elevates you, and fills your heart with peace that no insult can touch. Every moment of patience becomes light on the day of judgment, every trial becomes a source of reward, and every pause transforms pain into worship. Join me as we explore how silence, patience, and restraint invite Allah's mercy and strength. If this reminder touches your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this message with your family and friends. Silence is not weakness, it is trust in Allah. It is a quiet declaration that you believe in the one who sees what others cannot see, who knows the truth that the world may twist, and who writes justice with His own hand. When your heart aches to reply, when your tongue trembles with words ready to spill out, when your mind burns with thoughts of defense, remind yourself that silence is not defeat. Silence is the shield of the believer, the armor that protects you from regret, the weapon that confuses the oppressor, and the language that speaks directly to Allah Almighty. There are times in life when remaining silent feels unbearable. Every part of you wants to explain, to justify, to fight back. Yet the believer learns that every moment of silence, chosen for the sake of Allah, is a moment where the burden is transferred. You place your battle into the hands of the Lord who never loses, the Lord who sees all that was whispered in secret, the Lord who witnesses every tear shed in silence. This trust is not small, it is monumental. It means you believe that Allah can defend you better than your tongue ever could. The world tells you that to remain silent is to appear weak, but in truth, silence is strength. Anyone can lash out, anyone can shout, anyone can throw back insult for insult. But only the one who trusts Allah can restrain themselves when the fire burns inside. Only the one who knows the mercy of Allah can hold their tongue when the soul aches for release. This restraint is not cowardice, it is courage in its purest form. It is a statement, Ya Allah, I trust you more than I trust myself. I leave this matter to you. The Prophet Muhammad reminded us again and again about the power of the tongue. He said that whoever believes in Allah and the last day should speak what is good or remain silent. Notice the balance. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is a choice. Silence is protection. It is better to remain silent than to allow your tongue to fall into sin. Sometimes your silence is more powerful than 1,000 words, for it shows your reliance on Allah. Think of the moments when people hurl words at you that sting, when rumors spread that you cannot control, when accusations rise like waves crashing against your name. You could fight each wave with your own words, but you would exhaust yourself. Instead, you choose silence. You stand firm while the storm rages, and while others believe you are doing nothing, Allah Himself is moving mountains for you. In that silence, Allah fights your battle. He raises you higher. He gives you a dignity that cannot be stolen. The Quran tells us that Allah is with the patient. And what is silence in the face of insult, if not patience? What is silence in the moment of anger, if not strength? When you close your lips for the sake of Allah, you open your heart to His presence. You invite His mercy to descend, His defense to rise, and His justice to unfold. Every insult that you endure silently becomes a weight of reward on your scale. Every moment you resist the urge to reply becomes a crown of patience upon your head. Remember that Allah knows your truth. He does not need you to explain it to others. He does not require you to justify what he already sees. Sometimes the test of silence is not about people. It is about Allah testing how much you trust Him. Will you let Him handle it, or will you snatch the matter back into your own hands? Silence is your way of saying, I trust that you, O Allah, will handle this better than I ever could. That trust is a fortress. That trust is a shield. That trust transforms you from a person fighting alone to a believer defended by the Almighty. Do not think silence means nothing is happening. On the contrary, silence is action. Silence is worship. Silence is surrender that is stronger than any argument. Your silence rises to the heavens as a dua without words, and Allah answers in His perfect timing. The one who wrongs you will be dealt with by the one who never forgets. The one who mocks you will see that Allah Himself is your protector. The one who spreads lies will one day watch as Allah unfolds the truth in a way that no human effort could match. So the next time your heart aches to reply, pause. The next time your tongue burns with words, hold it back. Know that every second you remain silent for Allah's sake, you are not losing ground. You are gaining closeness to Him. You are not being humiliated. You are being honored. You are not being silenced. You are being elevated. And when Allah elevates you, no insult can bring you down. Silence is not weakness. It is trust in the Lord who knows, who hears, who sees, and who never abandons His servant. It is the faith that whispers, Allah is enough for me, and He is the best disposer of affairs. Allah Himself defends the patient. This is a promise from the one who never breaks His word, a guarantee from the Lord who sees all that is hidden and all that is revealed. When people hurl insults, when tongues cut sharper than swords, when accusations are spread without fear of Allah, the natural urge of the human heart is to respond, to defend, to prove. But the believer knows that sometimes the greatest defense is not in words, but in silence, in calmness, in trusting Allah to take the matter into His own hands. Patience is not easy. It hurts when you are spoken about unjustly, when lies are painted as truths, when the world looks at you through the lens of slander. But patience is the believer's weapon. It is through patience that Allah's protection descends. It is through patience that the angels write endless reward on your scale, and it is through patience that Allah Himself becomes your defender. When you remain calm while others rage, your silence rises to the heavens as an unspoken prayer, and Allah responds in ways unseen by the human eye. Do not think that your silence is unnoticed. Do not believe that your restraint is wasted. Every time you hold back when you are wronged, Allah's mercy covers you. Every insult endured without reply becomes a brick in the palace of patience waiting for you in paradise. Every sting of false accusation becomes a source of forgiveness for your sins. The Prophet taught us that no one is given a gift better and more comprehensive than patience. Why? Because patience invites Allah to be your protector. Patience places your matter in the hands of the Almighty, and when Allah takes charge of your defense, victory is guaranteed. Imagine standing before people who mock you, insult you, misunderstand you. You feel the weight of their words pressing down. Your heart trembles, your mind races, but your tongue remains still. To the world, it may seem as though you are silent, as though you are weak, but in that very moment, your silence is thunderous in the sight of Allah. It is a doer rising higher than their insults. It is a shield protecting you from responding with anger, from lowering yourself to their level, from earning sin through a single careless word. And while you appear still, Allah's plan is in motion. He prepares your defense, He lifts your name, He purifies your heart. The Quran reassures us again and again that Allah loves those who are patient. Allah is with the patient. Allah defends those who are patient. So when the insults cut deep, know that the pain you feel is not in vain. That pain is seen by Allah, and it becomes the reason for your elevation. When people slander, Allah protects your honor. When people scheme, Allah dismantles their schemes. When people insult, Allah raises your dignity. What greater defense could there be than the defense of the Lord of the worlds? This is not easy to live by. The nafs screams for revenge, the heart aches for explanation, the mind longs for justice now. But the believer learns to trust that Allah's timing is perfect. His justice is flawless. His defense is unmatched. Your silence does not mean you are doing nothing. Your silence means you are doing everything. You are entrusting your case to the most powerful, and no one can defend like him. The Prophet endured years of insults, of lies, of accusations. They called him names, they spread falsehood, they mocked his mission, yet he remained patient because he knew Allah himself would defend his servant. And history testified Allah raised him higher than all of his enemies. His name is remembered with honor until today, while the names of his accusers faded into dust. So when accusations sting and your heart feels heavy, take comfort. Your silence is not wasted, it is your dua, it is your shield, it is your trust in Allah, and Allah is never unaware, He is never absent, He never ignores the pain of the patient. In your calmness, you are handing your battle over to the one who never loses. And He will defend you in ways you may not see now, but one day you will look back and realize that your silence was your greatest strength. Remain calm, endure with patience, let your silence be your trust. For Allah Himself defends the patient. The tongue can destroy, but silence protects. One word spoken in anger can shatter the peace of years. One careless sentence can destroy trust built over a lifetime. A single moment of weakness can unravel bonds that took decades to form. Such is the power of the tongue. It carries weight beyond its size, shaping destinies, wounding hearts, and leaving scars that no apology can fully heal. This is why the Prophet Muhammad taught us to guard our tongues more than we guard our wealth. For wealth lost can be regained, but words once spoken cannot be taken back. How often do we regret words we uttered in haste? How often do we lie awake at night wishing we had remained silent? Silence becomes a shield in these moments, protecting us from ourselves, from the weakness of our anger, from the deception of Shaitan, who loves nothing more than to push us into conflict through a single word. The believer understands that every pause, every moment of restraint, every choice to remain silent when the nafs urges to speak becomes an act of worship. Allah reminds us that not a single word is uttered except that it is recorded. Imagine then the weight of what passes our lips daily. Words of kindness become light on the scale, but words of gossip, lies, insults, or anger darken the heart and burden the soul. Sometimes silence is the greatest kindness, not only to others but to yourself. Silence saves you from having to carry the weight of regret. Silence saves you from sin written against you. Silence transforms what could have been harm into reward. For your silence for the sake of Allah is recorded as patience. Think of relationships broken not by betrayal of action, but by betrayal of words. Families torn apart, friendships dissolved, hearts separated, all because of words spoken without thought. The tongue, though small, has power greater than any weapon. The sword may wound the body, but words wound the heart. The sword may heal with time, but words linger, echoing in the soul long after they were spoken. In this, we learn that silence is not emptiness. Silence is protection. There are times when silence is the most eloquent response, when anger fills the air, when insults are exchanged, when emotions burn hot. Silence speaks louder than any words could. It shows strength, it shows dignity, and it shows reliance on Allah. The one who stays silent is not powerless. Rather, they are powerful enough to control themselves. The Prophet said, "The strong person is not the one who overcomes others in wrestling, but the one who controls himself when angry." And what is more controlling than restraining the tongue when it longs to lash out? Every pause becomes a form of worship. When you could respond but you choose not to, Allah writes it as patience. When you could hurt but you choose silence, Allah writes it as mercy. When you could expose someone's fault but remain quiet, Allah covers your own faults in return. Silence in these moments is not wasted, it is an investment. It is stored for you with Allah as a reward far greater than the temporary satisfaction of having spoken. But silence is not only about anger. Sometimes silence is wisdom. It prevents us from engaging in gossip, from spreading rumors, from repeating what we do not know to be true. Allah warns us in the Quran about speaking without knowledge, reminding us that it is a path that leads only to regret. Remaining silent when uncertain is a form of humility. It is acknowledging that not everything needs our voice, not every situation requires our opinion. Silence teaches us that restraint is sometimes more valuable than expression. There are moments when silence is the most powerful dawah. Responding to ignorance with silence shows the beauty of Islam. Remaining calm when provoked shows the dignity of the believer. Not lowering yourself to the level of insults shows the world the strength of your faith. In these moments, silence speaks more eloquently than speeches ever could. The tongue can destroy, but silence protects. Protects your relationships, protects your heart, protects your soul. Protects you from regret, from anger, from sins written against you. Protects your dignity in this world and builds your reward in the next. Learn to pause before you speak. Learn to hold your tongue when silence is better. For every moment you choose silence, you are not losing, you are winning. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is worship. Silence is strength. Silence is protection. Dignity is found in restraint. It is easy to shout when provoked, to respond when insulted, to let anger pour out when emotions overwhelm the heart. But the Prophet reminded us that the strongest among us is not the one who can overpower another in argument or in combat, but the one who can control himself in the moment of anger. Restraint is strength. Restraint is courage. Restraint is dignity. It is the quiet force that holds a believer upright when the world pushes them down. In life, you will be tested with words and actions meant to provoke you. Some people thrive on dragging others into conflict. Some find satisfaction in watching you lose control. And yet, when you remain calm, when you hold back, when you choose silence over retaliation, you display a strength that is far greater than theirs. The one who screams is not powerful. The one who remains composed in the face of provocation is the true victor. This is why the Prophet praised those who control their anger, for they embody patience and trust in Allah. Restraint is not silence out of fear, nor is it submission to injustice. Restraint is knowing that your dignity is not tied to winning arguments, but to maintaining composure for the sake of Allah. The believer does not need to prove themselves to every tongue that challenges them, because their worth is defined by Allah, not by people's opinions. Your silence when you are attacked does not diminish you, it elevates you. Your calmness when provoked does not weaken you, it strengthens you. Every moment of restraint becomes a testimony that your heart belongs to Allah and not to your anger. How many times have we witnessed relationships destroyed because anger was not restrained? How many friendships ended? How many families torn apart because one moment of rage was allowed to take control? Dignity lies in the ability to stop yourself from uttering words that cannot be taken back. One insult may win you the argument, but it will cost you peace, it will cost you dignity, it will cost you reward. True dignity is found in the silence that prevents harm. The Quran describes the believers as those who restrain their anger and pardon others. This is not a small description. It is a mark of greatness. To restrain your anger is to rise above the self, to defeat the whispers of Shaitan, and to place your trust in Allah's justice instead of your own. Restraint is not weakness. Restraint is mastery of the soul. It is a form of worship, because every time you could lash out but choose silence instead, you earn the pleasure of Allah. The world teaches us to fight back, to always respond, to never let anyone win over us. But the Quran and Sunnah teach us that the real winner is the one who wins against their own anger, the one who walks away with dignity intact, the one who keeps their tongue clean, the one who spares their heart from regret. That is the one who is victorious. Silence in the face of provocation is not loss. It is victory in its purest form. Restraint also protects the heart. Anger is a fire, and every word spoken in anger fuels that fire. But when you restrain yourself, you extinguish the flames before they consume you. Dignity comes when you are not a slave to your emotions, when you choose to respond in ways that bring you closer to Allah instead of further away. This self-control is what gives the believer their honor. Others may see only silence, but Allah sees the strength it took to stay silent. He records it as patience, as worship, as a means of elevation. Think of the Prophet himself. He endured mockery, insults, and attacks, yet he responded with calmness, mercy, and dignity. His restraint did not make him weak. It made him the most honored of all creation. His dignity lay in his ability to rise above anger, to trust Allah to defend him, and to focus on what truly mattered. If we wish to follow in his footsteps, we too must learn that silence in moments of anger is not defeat, but a reflection of inner strength. Every time you restrain your anger, you win a battle within yourself. Every time you hold back when you could lash out, you earn a reward greater than winning an argument. Every time you stay silent in the heat of conflict, you protect your dignity and strengthen your connection with Allah. That is why true dignity is not found in shouting the loudest or winning every debate. It is found in silence, in patience, in restraint. Dignity is found in restraint, and true strength is found in silence for the sake of Allah. Every trial becomes reward when met with silence. Life tests us in ways that are often unseen, in moments that feel unbearable, and through situations that seem impossible to bear. The believer may be confronted with injustice, insult, betrayal, or hardship, and the heart may feel heavy under the weight of it all. The natural impulse is to react, to speak out, to defend oneself, to demand justice immediately. Yet Islam teaches us that there is power in restraint, that silence, when chosen for the sake of Allah, transforms trials into treasures and pain into eternal reward. When you remain silent in the face of hardship, your patience is recorded by the angels. Every moment you hold back from responding in anger, every second you restrain your tongue, every pause in the heat of difficulty becomes a testimony of your reliance on Allah. That silence is not empty, it is alive, it is vibrant, it is an act of devotion. Your silence becomes a light upon your record, illuminating your deeds and increasing your standing in the sight of your Lord. While the world may see you as weak, Allah sees your steadfastness, your trust, and your submission, and He rewards you far beyond what anyone else can give. The trials we face are not without purpose. The Quran reminds us that Allah tests whom He wills, and that with every trial comes ease. But ease is often intertwined with patience. When pain comes, when injustice is done, when hearts are wounded, patience becomes the bridge to reward. Choosing silence in these moments is not passive. It is active reliance on the one who never abandons his servant. It is a declaration, Ya Allah, I leave this matter to you. You are the best of planners, and you are sufficient for me. Such trust is itself a form of worship, and worship is the path to reward. Consider the times when others have wronged you. Perhaps someone spoke harshly, perhaps someone lied, perhaps someone acted unjustly. The desire to respond immediately is strong, yet the believer understands that responding without wisdom, responding with anger, responding from the heart rather than from guidance, may turn the trial into sin rather than reward. But when silence is chosen, the trial is elevated. It becomes a means of cleansing, a means of illumination, a means of drawing closer to Allah. Your restraint, recorded by the angels, is a gift that no one else can take away. The Prophet himself endured trials of unimaginable magnitude. He faced mockery, false accusations, and open hostility, yet he maintained patience and silence in moments where the world expected retaliation. His patience was not weakness, it was strength. His silence was not emptiness, it was filled with trust in Allah. Every insult, every hardship he endured with dignity became a source of reward, a light on the day of judgment, a monument to his steadfastness. If the beloved Prophet demonstrated such restraint, how much more should we strive to follow in his example, understanding that silence can transform our trials into eternal blessings. When you choose silence in hardship, you are not ignoring the wrong or condoning injustice. Rather, you are prioritizing your relationship with Allah over the fleeting satisfaction of worldly vindication. You are signaling to yourself, to the world, and most importantly to Allah, that your faith is stronger than your fear, that your trust is greater than your anger, and that your patience is more powerful than immediate reaction. This is how trials are converted into reward, through conscious choice, through reliance on Allah, and through the discipline to remain silent when speaking might harm your soul or compromise your dignity. Every moment of restraint adds to your scale. Every hardship endured with patience becomes a source of illumination on the day of judgment. What others see as suffering, Allah sees as purification. What others see as silence, Allah sees as devotion. What others see as weakness, Allah sees as strength. The unseen record is far more important than the visible exchange of words or actions, and the unseen reward is far more enduring than any temporary satisfaction of retaliation. This is why the believer does not rush to speak in anger, does not hurry to defend themselves, and does not seek immediate justice through reaction. Life will continue to test you. People will challenge you. Words will wound, circumstances will burden, and in each of these moments, silence is a refuge, silence is protection, silence is a vessel of reward. Your patience, written by the angels, will shine like a beacon, turning every hardship into light, every insult into elevation, and every trial into an opportunity for Allah's mercy. By choosing silence, you are turning the ordinary moments of suffering into extraordinary moments of worship. Remember that Allah is with the patient and that He rewards every act of restraint. Every trial you meet with silence is a step closer to Him. Every hardship endured without complaint becomes a means of elevation in the hereafter. And every moment of restraint transforms pain, sorrow, and difficulty into a treasure that no one else can claim. The world may see your silence as weakness, but in the sight of Allah, it is your strength, your dignity, and your reward. Every trial becomes reward when met with silence. Silence invites Allah's mercy and strength. It is not mere absence of speech, but a conscious choice to place your trust entirely in the one who sees all and controls all. In moments when the world seeks to provoke you, when tongues rise in anger, when slander and accusations fill the air. Choosing silence for the sake of Allah transforms every disturbance into a source of elevation. It is in these moments of quiet that the heart finds peace, the soul finds strength, and the believer becomes a vessel for Allah's mercy. The world often mistakes silence for weakness. Those who speak the loudest or react the fastest are perceived as powerful, but true strength lies in self-restraint. The believer understands that every word has weight and every reaction carries consequence. By remaining silent, you protect your heart from sin, your soul from regret, and your dignity from being compromised. Allah observes your restraint, and He fills the silence with His mercy. What appears empty to the eyes of others is full in the sight of the Most High, who rewards every act of patience and self-control. Consider the moments when insults cut deep and rumors spread unchecked. The natural inclination is to defend oneself, to reply, to explain, and to seek justice immediately. Yet, the believer knows that rushing to respond can create more harm than good. Every response can carry the potential for sin, for anger, or for pride to seep in. Silence, chosen for Allah's sake, transforms these moments. It becomes a form of worship, a silent dua, a statement of trust in His perfect wisdom and timing. In the stillness, Allah works on your behalf in ways that the human eye cannot perceive. The Prophet Muhammad exemplified this truth throughout his life. He faced mockery, false accusations, and open hostility from those who opposed his message. Yet, he responded with patience, wisdom, and often silence. His dignity was never compromised by the noise of the world, because his reliance was entirely on Allah. In choosing silence, he elevated himself above anger, above insult, and above the need for immediate vindication. This restraint did not signify passivity, it signified faith, trust, and inner strength. Silence creates space for Allah's intervention. When you choose not to retaliate, not to argue, not to escalate, you allow Allah to lift you above the chaos. He turns the noise of others into your elevation. Every insult, every unjust word, every attempt to provoke you becomes a stepping stone for Allah's mercy to descend. Your restraint becomes a shield, your calmness becomes a sign of strength, and your dignity becomes a testimony to the power of trust in Allah. What others perceive as power through aggression, Allah manifests as power through patience and faith. The peace that comes from silence is unmatched. When you no longer allow every word and action of others to dictate your mood, you experience a serenity that is rare in this world. Your heart is no longer chained to the reactions of those around you. Your mind is no longer consumed by the need for defense or revenge. Instead, your focus rests on Allah, the ultimate protector and sustainer. Silence becomes a sanctuary for the soul, a quiet space where mercy flows, strength builds, and tranquility settles. Every moment you choose silence, you are engaging in a profound act of reliance. You are saying to Allah, I place this matter in your hands, for you are the best of planners. That declaration, though silent, carries immense power. It is stronger than any argument, louder than any defense, and more effective than any retaliation. Allah sees your heart, knows your struggle, and responds to your patience with mercy that transforms your situation. This is why the Quran repeatedly emphasizes the virtue of patience and the reward of those who control themselves in the face of provocation. Silence also shields you from sin. In the heat of anger or frustration, words spoken can wound others, damage relationships, and stain the soul. By remaining silent, you protect not only your own heart, but also the hearts of others. Your silence preserves peace where words might destroy it. It allows you to respond later with wisdom if needed, but never out of uncontrolled emotion. This measured approach invites Allah's guidance, strengthens your character, and solidifies your faith. Choosing silence for His sake cultivates humility. It reminds the believer that ultimate judgment belongs to Allah alone. You are not required to defend yourself to every tongue that speaks falsely, nor to prove your innocence to every skeptic. By trusting Allah to uphold your honor and to grant justice, you free yourself from the burdens of pride, anger, and anxiety. Your dignity is maintained, your heart is strengthened, and your soul is purified. Allah's mercy envelops those who rely on Him in such quiet, steadfast ways. Even in the most difficult trials, silence becomes a source of light. While the world may see chaos, Allah sees submission. While others expect retaliation, Allah observes faith. While the human eye measures power by noise, Allah measures strength by restraint. In your silence, He provides the fortitude to endure, the wisdom to navigate challenges, and the peace that no insult can shake. Every moment of quiet patience builds a foundation of spiritual elevation that endures beyond this life. When you face situations that demand composure, remember that silence is a form of strength granted by Allah. It invites His mercy, it allows His plan to unfold, and it transforms adversity into elevation. The one who masters silence for His sake demonstrates trust, patience, and unwavering faith. Allah turns the noise of others into blessings, the chaos of life into calm, and the sting of insult into an opportunity for growth and reward. In this way, the believer rises above the temporary trials of this world, resting in the certainty of Allah's protection and the peace that only He can grant. Silence invites Allah's mercy and strength, and in choosing it, you are lifted higher than any words could ever elevate you. Remember, the next time you face hardship, insult, or misunderstanding, let silence be your strength, patience be your guide, and trust in Allah be your shield. Your restraint is not wasted. It is a treasure written by the angels and rewarded by Allah. May Allah protect your tongue, elevate your heart, and grant you peace that no worldly noise can disturb. Thank you for listening today. If this reminder inspired you, please like, subscribe, and share so others can benefit from the wisdom of silence and the mercy of Allah. Stay patient, stay silent, and let Allah lift you higher than words ever could.